What's going on, YouTube? We've got some questions in regard to one of the attachments that we have that you've seen on the channel, our Raytree grinder masticator. And some people were asking about buying one just because the price is so good and they do work really well. But there's been a fun little issue that I kind of forgot to mention when we bought this thing. Take a look at it here. So here's the machine. It's been holding up pretty good. I mean, again, for the cost on these things, it's pretty impressive how well they work. The teeth are, bald, but you can rotate them around. Bearings still sound great. Belt's holding up really good. We had to go in and Loctite all these boogers. We took them all apart because these just like to come loose. But we're still on our first kind of row on these. So we haven't really rotated them around, and they're definitely starting to get bald. I'm sure you could come in with a grinder and kind of sharpen these up, but it might be what we do. You'll definitely want to take these out and Loctite them. Carry a bunch of these with you, maybe even get some better ones. I'm sure these are some Chinese steel, some Chinesium. They work. I mean, again, for the cost of these things, you're going to run this unit for a couple years and then just replace it. I mean, that's what I would do. So the big problem here that we originally had was these boogers here. When these come in, they do not come in with US hydraulic hookups on them, and we were so confused trying to put these on the Kubota. The case drain was the only one that actually worked. The high flow connectors, so basically they come with like a British, if you actually look it up, it's British hydraulic connection, and it's just a weird coupler that is in between this and low flow. It looks like it's gonna fit, but it just doesn't. And I spent like a day thinking I was just being weak and I was a wimp. I couldn't push them in, but turns out they were just British. So I ended up having my local rental company make me up a whole new set of hoses. The most expensive part was this connection here. So again, you've got these British connectors. They use like an O-ring instead of our connectors that use a nipple. So you have to go from this O-ring to our connectors, and that's where this coupler right here is the key. So you get one of these made up, and then you can just use regular US hoses off to this British O-ring connection. So after we did that, everything worked great. Now we can just swap these hoses out, use regular high flow. But that was a super confusing part. Everything else in here is going to be British connection with the O-ring. So I just left them and just connected this. Everything else in there, I didn't want to try and replace everything. It's just not worth it. By the time you do that, you just start getting into, you may as well have just bought a US one, because some of these fittings aren't cheap. So yeah, that's what ended up happening with that. So I would definitely recommend, as soon as you get one, go down, unhook these hoses, bring lots of pictures of all this, so that lots of measurements, so that your hydraulic company, whether it's your rental company, they can make you up some new hoses, and then everything will connect real fine. Trying to remember the Fecon, it's made here in the US, so it hooked up just fine. The only goofy thing we had with the Fecon was the case drain was a male instead of a female. I don't know why, but yeah, the case drain here was swapped over to a male, and it could be because we have it hooked up to that case a lot of the times, and I think the case has 2 female case drains because it's a case. I don't know. Can you count under here? kitty. Hi, kitty. Yeah, hanging out under there. But yeah, I mean, when you look at all these, they're all American style nipples. You know, there's no O-rings to. Man, I got a leak on this booger. See, like this, I don't get, why do I have a quick connect? These things, it's just gonna leak like crazy. I need to do something about that. Yeah, so if you're gonna buy one of them Raytrees, just remember you're gonna have to go out and kind of update your quick connects. The other thing I would do is, like, if you look at the Fecon here, right here you have grease ports that go down into your main bearing. Really, really, really nice. Where the Raytree does not have that. The Raytree, you have to take the end panels off and grease it every time you use it. You don't have to do it every time you use it, but I would definitely recommend that. I'm sure that bearing is not going to be happy if you don't grease it every time. The one thing that I do like about that is that you get to inspect the bearings in the belt every time you grease it. So I do like that. With the Fecon, you're just hoping and praying that nothing bad is going on in there. So what I ended up doing, this came with, what did it come with? These stupid Allen pan heads, which were not very expensive. They're very cheap and they stripped out. I ended up swapping them for a socket head. And that way, and this is metric, so I think a M12. That way I can just bring my electric socket and take all these off real quick and get in here, grease it, inspect the belt, and clean it out, because it does get stuff in there, dirt, dust. So while the Fecon has ports up here, and you can put a port, you can make a hose, a Zerk hose, screw it in there, drill a hole through and put it up here if you want to. I have actually kind of enjoyed just taking these off, because you can get in there and clean it. And here comes the wind. Wouldn't be Colorado without it. But yeah, the Fecon is a little easier to maintain, but you got to deal with that part that you're not going to look at the belt and the bearing every time you grease it. So you still can if you want. I mean, nothing's stopping you from taking these panels off. But when you look at cost-wise, this Fecon it's a $30,000 mulcher. That Raytree is $5,000. So, you know, you got nuts and bolts. It's just a pain in the butt to get in here and look. I mean, I guess there's an inspection port here, which is nice. Everything else on here, like these, you just unscrew and all these lift up. So handy, so nice. I mean, everything on the Fecon is definitely built better. But we've had, again, the price difference on them is just massive. It's just not fair to try and compare them. But yeah, this one's a monster. I mean, the nice thing about the Raytree too, it's got those rotatable teeth. This one's just got the straight up replaceable, teeth. But this thing will take down a tree like there's no tomorrow. I mean, this one doesn't really mulch either. It's really a devastator instead of a mulcher. But yeah, I mean, it'll do the job, and there's a reason we have it. This booger here, this monster, is a really nice machine. It's not a disc, it is a mower. But I mean, this thing will take down an 8-inch tree. It's a monster as well. That's a Fecon too. And so yeah, just had some people email me, ask about that Raytree, why it won't hook up to their excavator. And I completely forgot to mention that on the last video of what happened to me. So I thought I would at least make an updated video to show you guys. It's been holding up good. We've been using it on jobs. I would say a 30-gallon a minute machine is going to be, man, it's a little lower than you'd like. It'll still run it, but if you could get like 36 to 40, this machine really shines. If you can get some really, really good speed on it, then it really, really shines. But it does just fine. If you've got a Cat 255, 265, SVL 75, anything within that 75 horsepower range, This is a really good head unit just because it's lightweight, it's still pretty strong, and so far pretty bulletproof. I mean, again, at the cost of these things, when this thing dies, we're just gonna buy another one. And you know, when these things are $5,000, you just amortize that. You're gonna make that on a couple jobs, and this thing just is now just making you money. And the moment it fails, you buy another one. Everything else on it, we've really enjoyed. No leaks, no issues. Motor stays as cool as it should. Doesn't make any goofy noises, doesn't rattle, and everything seems to be pretty balanced. There might be a little tiny imbalance between the bearings, maybe a little misalignment, but it's that could just be me being picky. I don't know. And I honestly, for where these are built and for how much, I'm as impressed that it's that imbalance as it sits. So I still haven't added on these slots are just way too big. So that's another thing. We need to add a plate on here that pushes this slot a little closer so them pins don't wobble around in here. But yeah, again, shoot, $5,000. To set it and forget it. So yeah, hope that helped, and we'll be trying to get some work here with the 309 and the 040 and the dump truck, and trying to put some other videos out. But yeah, hopefully it helps you guys. If you got any questions, be sure to comment or email, and I'll do my best to get back with you. So have a good day. Thanks.